Welcome to the 101st live stream on the channel, or the live chat on the channel. We do these every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about UFC 286, recapping UFC 286, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3. We're going to talk about Colby Covington potentially getting the next title shot and who deserves the title shot at 170. We're going to talk about Colby Covington potentially ducking Hamzat Chimaev, which I believe he has. And we're also going to discuss upcoming UFC San Antonio, Marlon Vera versus Cory Sandhagen. And we're going to talk about predictions. I released my predictions earlier last night. Is everything okay with the audio? Let me know that everything is okay with the audio. Before we move forward, I would like to know. For some reason, my microphone was showing up on OBS, but then I look over to my interface and it was muted. But we are here now. Sounds great. Would appreciate, guys, if you guys could all like the stream. And if you're watching and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel as always. And on top of all those topics that we're going to discuss, I'm also going to answer pretty much all the questions in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. I look forward to answering them. I can't believe we've done 101 live Wednesday live chat streams. I keep wanting to call it 101 live streams. We've obviously done far more than that probably at this point. But this is the 101st Wednesday live chat stream. And I don't think I've ever missed a Wednesday live stream. I don't remember. I know I've messed around with the timing a bit, but I stream every single Wednesday no matter what. Almost time for some pleasure. That it is. Bro, start the video. I'm not paying you $0 for nothing. Exactly. Great. Now my pleasuring is off schedule. I'll never recover from this. What's up, Blaze One? What's going on, John Rod? What's going on, Earth Rocker? Joey's at her again with no audio. It's not my fault. For some reason, my audio interface just turned off. And I didn't happen to notice it. I did not happen to notice it. Joey's in the house. That I am. The classic mute start happens to every streamer someday. Yeah, it happens to me more often than I would like, which is super annoying. Everything sounds good. What's up, Flat Earth? Driving, so I'm going to be lurking. I'm happy that you're here nonetheless. Whether you're lurking, whether you're watching, whether you're sending messages in the chat, I'm happy to have you here. There's plenty to talk about too. And let me minimize this screen because it's actually, I can barely see the chat right now for some reason. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. It's good night to me, but good morning to you. Did you see Colby's death threats? Yeah, we talked about it. I did a member stream last night. And I talked about it a bit. I don't care about Colby threatening Jon Anik, you know. The thing is, the media is too over dramatic about what Colby Covington says and doesn't say. You know, they love that he plays this character and they love drumming it up and saying, oh yeah, Colby plays this pro wrestling heel. Like, it's all an act. Who cares? You know, I don't care if he threatened to kill Jon Anik's whole family by burning his house down. I'm being dead serious. I know that's extreme. I don't care. And I don't even like Colby. I don't care. He's playing a character. It's a joke. You know, I get it. At some point, he can cross the line. But it's like, for me personally, I'm not going to clutch my pearls over it. Do I necessarily love it? No. I don't like the character at all. But the media creates this character of Colby by showing him attention for acting the way he does, and then clutches their pearls when he says something they don't like. I'm not a big fan of half the things he says. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Colby needs to get the boot from the UFC. Colby needs to be penalized. I don't care. I don't care. But I'm one of these people, I don't care what anyone says for the most part. You know, barring, there is certain lines you shouldn't cross, okay? But for the most part, if Colby Covington said, you know, hey, if you're a fan of me, please go murder Jon Anik if you get a chance. That would be way too far. Because he's encouraging delusional fan base to do something, to commit acts of violence in his name. But the fact that he's like kind of halfway saying, look, you keep talking shit about me, your kids are going to grow up without a dad. I don't care, dude. He's just playing a character. For me, he said worse things when he's talking about, and again, I don't even necessarily care about these things either. I'm just giving examples. I think it was worse when he was talking about how everyone in Brazil is a filthy animal and, saying Kamaru Usman's from some tribe in Africa or some, some weird shit like that. Those I thought were worse than this, but I don't care about any of it. And the media has created this monster where they want these sound bites from Colby, and every time Colby has a crazy sound bite, everyone's sharing it around and giving him attention. Well, what is Colby's goal? His goal is to get attention. And so they're giving him exactly what he wants for something that they don't like him doing. I don't care. I don't care what Colby says. I don't care what Colby says about John Anik. I don't care what Colby says about Dana White. I don't care what Colby says about anyone. I just don't care. I really don't. It's all a soap opera to me, and I'm not a fan of soap operas. I told you guys a long time ago, I don't even listen to Colby Covington interviews because I don't like the character. It's boring to me. It's corny to me. It's not appealing or interesting or entertaining in any way, shape, or form to me. It's him tripping over pre-written lines to insult people, and he just sounds like an absolute cornball. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to hear it. It's cringy to me. It makes me feel secondhand embarrassment. He's pretending to be somebody he's not for attention. Embarrassing to me. So I don't listen to what he says. I don't care what he has to say. It doesn't bother me what he says. Again, he starts he starts pretending like he's a NASCAR fan and throwing out the N-word. Then we can have that discussion. But until then, I don't care if he's starting in John Anik. I don't care if he's starting in John Anik's family. I don't care. He's not being serious. These are non-legitimate threats, If he was saying it and he seemed serious about it, that seems a little bit weird. If he just got out of jail for murder and he's saying it, yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but I don't care about Colby's John Anik death threats, and I think the media is over dramatic about it, and I don't find it funny, but it's not because of the way. It's not because of what he said. It's just because the way he said it, and the joke in general just isn't overall funny. But the media needs their headlines, I guess, and Colby wants those clicks, so it goes hand in hand. They're working together at it. What's up, Joey? Let's go-y. What's going on, Patty Mills? What's going on? Like the stream? Yeah, guys, like the stream. I just have too many left-hand turns to chat. Make sure you pray to Dale, all right? I seen Hamzat MMA Hour interview. A lot of interesting things were said. A little bit confusing, but if you're paid attention, you could sum up what Hamzat was saying and what will happen. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah, and Colby definitely has turned down that fight. And Colby's the biggest bitch in the UFC, arguably, right now. He waited the second that Dana White, and I said this long before the Hamzat interview. The second Dana said Hamzat's definitely fighting at 185, all of a sudden Colby started talking. It's embarrassing. Joey, can I give you my number so you can call me when you stream at midnight because I'm always passed out? I don't know if that was a joke or for real. I'm assuming that was a joke. But you're just going to have to make sure you stay on top of it. You're going to have to wake up, pry that one eye open, check the stream, and there you go. I'm sure you can set a notification on your phone for it to go off out loud. But you got to be here, my friend. You got to be here. Does Bilal deserve more respect? Yes. Yes, he does. A lot of people were saying Sean Brady's the next title challenger and this and that, and Bilal sent him back to the back of the line. And Bilal does deserve a title shot over anyone else for the most part. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the stream. And he said he has a feeling UFC might force him to wait until October. Dude, Hamzat's career, to be out for over a year now, is annoying as hell. Like, we want to see him fight. Why aren't the UFC giving him a fight? I would love to know what's going on behind the scenes. What's up, Billy? I'll hit you up later about a camera. No big deal. Iron Mike Tyson picked up Hasbulla and snuggle kissed him like a baby today. Okay, didn't need to know that, but thanks for informing me. USADA in the chat. That was weird. I think he thought Hasbulla was like 3 years old. The TRT had Mike thinking Hasbulla was a baby. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of hearing about Hasbulla and his connection to MMA and combat sports in general. I'm just flat out tired of hearing it, to be honest. It's annoying. It's very, very, very annoying to even hear it. And see it every time. We got to see Hasbulla Power Slap. We got to see, not that I watch Power Slap, but the UFC social promoting it. Hasbulla's here, Hasbulla's there, Hasbulla's everywhere. So tired of it. Don't care about it. Don't care about Hasbulla. And yeah, I think it's just a gimmick. It's just an absolute gimmick and an embarrassment. Hey Joey, been a bit, missed these streams. Well, happy to have you back, da boy. Who is the best wrestler in the UFC in your opinion? Good question, my friend. I don't know. Without looking over the roster, I don't know. Oh, apparently Paul Acosta reached a new deal. I didn't see that. Apparently he wants to fight Hamzat. He wants to fight Chimaev and Strickland. Whoo. New 4-fight deal. Well, there you go. That might be the fight. That might be the fight that happens. Diamond, thank you for the $5 super chat. Is it a test of skill if both guys throw heavy volume and aren't connecting clean or efficiently, or is it a test of defense if both guys are thrown? Is it a test of skill if both guys are throwing heavy volume and aren't connecting clean or efficiently, or is it a test of defense if both guys are thrown? I'm trying to decipher what that means, but thank you for the $5 super chat. If both guys are throwing heavy but aren't connecting clean, I think it's more of showing the fighter's defensive skills. I think that's what you're asking, rather than their offensive skills. It's showing they can dodge a lot of shots, even if they're not thrown super clean. Well, thank you for the $5 donation, Diamond Gok. Okay, I appreciate the super chat. Patty Mills, thank you for being a member for 3 months with the Boston Crab in the membership super chat. Appreciate you for being a 3-month member. Boston Crab, nothing I love more than talking about the Boston Crab. I've been saying Hamzat's career is even more unlucky than Leon if you think about it. I mean, it's been weird. It's been weird for sure. I still want to see Hamzat versus Leon, to be quite honest. I'd love to see Hamzat versus Leon. Hamzat could be the 170 champion, but I guess he's decided he can't make weight anymore. I don't know what's going on. It's like, I think the UFC's pissed at him for missing weight with Nate, to be honest. I think that's what's going on there. Who's the best wrestler? What did I say for that? I don't even remember what I said. Just pure wrestler in the UFC? I don't know. Maybe Hamzat. I'm just going to say Hamzat Chimaev. Hasbulla NFT skins just dropped on UFC 4. Stop. Please stop. He gets sick. All these fights fall through, and then Izzy and Usman both lose, and then he has to wait for trilogies to end. Now that it's almost over, Colby's going to get a title shot. Sucks for him and fans. Yeah, it sucks bad. Stop it with the Colby hate. Get a life. When did I hate on Colby? I just speak the truth. If you don't like it, then leave. Don't listen then. Yo, Joey, where can I buy an O'Malley shirt for this weekend? I don't know. I don't know. Link might be in the description, may not. I haven't checked that in a bit. That was just like a kind of a funny thing, but I don't know if you can get it that quick. But that's funny though. Stretchered out of the cage with no serious injury. I'd rather see Hamzat fight at 170 rather than 185. Agreed. Agreed. You're on early tonight? I'm always on this time on Wednesdays. Jorge says he wants the Colby rematch on JRE. Maybe things change. Maybe Jorge beats Gilbert Burns and then he fights Colby in a rematch. Patty Mills, thank you for the $5 super chat. If anyone is buying a Hasbulla UFC skin, you need help. Yeah, you're right, bro. Yeah, you're right. If anybody's buying a Hasbulla anything, you definitely need help. For sure. For sure, dude. Gary, thank you for the $10 super chat. Greetings from Michigan. Two things. First, I bought a new power washer today. Congratulations, Gary. Congratulations on the new power washer. And second, what do you think about Colby's comments about John Anik? Kind of odd. Look, I don't think it's the greatest thing to be out there saying, but I do think the media is overreacting. He's playing a character. He's not serious. He's not serious. He's not really threatening John Anik. And the media is just overreacting to it just because they want to get their headlines in and act like it's so salacious. It's so salacious. Oh my God, he threatened the life of commentator John Anik. If I was Colby, I'd play it like a lawyer. I said, no, I just said I don't want his children to grow up without a father. That's all I wish for when I was just talking about him. That's it. So to answer your question, I don't think it's great what he said, but I don't care what he said. I'm not going to throw him in jail for it. I'm not going to criticize him for it because he's playing a character that the media has encouraged him to play over and over and over and over again. That's what they've encouraged him to do. So I'm not going to clutch my pearls. Just like I didn't clutch my pearls when Jorge sucker punched him. Just like I didn't clutch my pearls when he said this stuff about the Brazilian people. The dude is playing a men's soap opera character. I don't care what he has to say. I don't put any legitimacy in what he has to say. I'm sure John Anik probably doesn't care either. But thank you for the $10. Congratulations on the new power washer, my friend Gary. I appreciate it, my friend. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know if Jorge ever gets that Colby rematch. Hamzat can't make weight. He said he can make 170. He says he still fight at 170 now. I didn't listen to the entire interview, but I listened to bits and pieces. Thoughts on Masvidal disclosing Covington's possible herpes status? He has said that multiple times. I don't think that's true. I'd rather see Hamzat fight at 170 than 185. I agree. No, Nichols clearly the better pure. Well, he didn't say pure wrestler, so go to hell. What's a safe place? What's a safe pick for the fight night this weekend? I don't know. I answered this question yesterday, but I don't even remember who I said. I feel like Andrea Lee wins. And I also feel like I don't know. I think all these fights are hard to pick, to be quite honest. I think all these fights are hard to pick. I think Alex Perez may shock people. He may beat Manel Kape. But if I had to pick a guaranteed win, even though I don't think anyone's a guaranteed win, probably Holly Holm. I think she should win unless she's fallen off a cliff. I mean, she is 48 years old. I'm kidding. She's 41, but you get the point. I'd go Holly Holm. Did you watch the interview where Cheeto said Jan and Hamzat are only human and people act like they're robots? I did not, but it doesn't surprise me. UFC 5 comes out this year. I hope they run 4K 120. Dude, I've given up on all EA Sports games. I've given up on all EA Sports games. EA Sports is just a horrible company. I don't think Hamzat is done with 170. After watching the Ariel interview, his next fight will be sure at middleweight. Then, with enough time, the next one will be 170. I hope so. I hope so. Flashman, do you think Molina is a brave and a hero and you look sad? I don't think anything about Molina because I don't care about his personal life at all. So I don't think anything about it. I just think it's bizarre that MMA fans are focused on another grown man's sexuality. And as far as me looking sad, I'm not sad. So I apologize if I look sad. I don't think I look sad, but, you know, to each their own. Appreciate you sending me $2 to try to cheer me up. I thank you for the $2 donation, Flashman. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. Really, really do. Okay, where was I? Right below here. Okay. What's up, Kratos? Joey, was O'Malley the first time a fighter was stretchered out of the ring with no serious injury? It's the only time I remember it. Usually when they're stretchered out, they have a serious injury. But I don't believe anyone else has been stretchered out. Even Tom Aspinall had a serious injury, and they took him out on like a little chair. Who remembers that? It was the world's smallest chair. I remember I said it in my post-fight interview. Like, why are they taking him out in the world's smallest chair? What kind of office chair do you have? I need a new one. You're not going to like this answer. I highly recommend getting a Herman Miller office chair. This has changed my life. I don't like sitting for long periods of time at all. My back starts to hurt if I sit for long periods of time. And I used to have an old computer chair in this office. And if I even used it, I wasn't in here as much then. But even if I sat here for like 30, 45 minutes, my back would start to hurt just sitting in it because it was just an old computer chair. It wasn't necessarily uncomfortable. I bought this Herman Miller chair. I can sit here for 6 hours and my back doesn't hurt at all. At all. If I sit on another chair for an hour, I feel destroyed afterwards. My body feels weird. I got to like stretch a little bit. I feel like a little bit weird. This Herman Miller chair is so comfortable. It doesn't feel anything special when you sit in it, but you notice it after sitting in it for long periods of time. Now, the thing about the Herman Miller chairs are they're super expensive. They're like over $1,000 for a chair. Now, I didn't pay $1,000 for this chair. I found this chair used. I bought this chair used for $500, I think. It was $500 roughly. Because I knew I was going to start needing a nice office chair. And I would consider buying another one. For my fiance. Because they're that good and they have a warranty and they last literally forever. So people look at it as so expensive. And I do agree it's expensive. But if you're buying a $200 chair every 2 years, what's the difference? Why would Jorge want a rematch with Colby? He didn't win a single minute of the fight. He won about 30 seconds of the fight. I just seen a video of Flamin' Jesse giving his back this MFer. What just happened here? I think I disconnected for a second. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Cheetah loses every round, then knocks this MFer out with his legs. We'll see. This ain't Twitch. What are we talking about there? Nah, Cop winning by decision. Cop was unimpressive in his last fight, to be quite honest. Cheeto has most knockdowns in bantamweight. Did not know that. Cheeto has the longest legs in the division. Okay, I didn't know there was a stat for that. Colby ain't cut from that cloth. I would have to agree with you on that one. Colby is not cut from that cloth. I agree Sandhagen will piece up Cheeto. Going to catch him and KO him. Sandhagen is frail from wars. I don't think Sandhagen is frail at all. Is Jeff Molina going to walk out with a pride flag in his return? I don't know, and I don't care. Herman Miller's top of the line. That it is. Oliveira versus Dariush prediction. I've been flipping back and forth. Right now, I'm going Oliveira. Dariush is kind of chinny. He's been finished before by, like, Alex Hernandez. I think he can finish him. Yo, what's up, Joey? Hope you're doing well. Who do you favor if Colby and Bilal fought? Do you think the wrestlers cancel each other out? Yeah, I could see Bilal finishing Colby. I know that sounds crazy, but Bilal looks like he's leveled up in his last few fights, especially in that Sean Brady fight. But I could see Colby. I would either say Bilal by finish or Colby by decision, just because Colby throws a lot of volume. Crazy out Muhammad Makayev tweeted that he's fighting in July after that injury. Did he ever find out what? Did he have any torn ligaments or anything? I would assume there was. Keep skipping. That's so annoying. YouTube is so annoying. It's something that just recently started happening, is the crazy thing. So if you have any audio issues with the stream, just close it out and reopen it. Joey's definitely on TRT. Oh, caught me. I'm so annoyed that YouTube's constantly causing those issues. 60 viewers and 20 likes. Boys, like the stream. Yeah. Run up the likes on the stream, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm on the secret juice. Okay. Bilal can't finish. Okay. Yeah, it would most likely be Bilal or Colby would probably go to decision. But I think Bilal looked really good and showed some finishing ability in his last fight. Showed some finishing. What he did to Sean Brady was unexpected. I picked Sean Brady. My early pick was Bilal, and then I switched. Already had to close and open the stream back up twice. It's so annoying because it makes people leave too. Because they're like, oh, this is annoying. JJ here, Vera by knockout. If you think otherwise, you're a goofball. Okay. We'll find out on Saturday. If you guys haven't seen my prediction, I released it late last night. Make sure you go check it out after this stream. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. It's got some decent views. Almost over 2,000. Not great, not terrible. I remember I used to be excited to get over 1K. Now I don't get happy unless I hit like 5K. So, but that's just the way it works. That's just the way it works. It's craziness. That Conor McGregor video, it's crazy. I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos since then. That Conor McGregor video did 36,000 views. Does Jalton have what it takes to be champ? It's hard to tell. It's too early to tell. I don't mind. It's worth it in this case. Appreciate you. I honestly, Lauren Sanko is top 3 UFC commentators personality. What do you think? I don't like any of the commentary teams, so I think she's right up there with all of them. You can mix and match them all for me. I don't think any of them are particularly good. What's up? What's going on? Sanko a 304. I don't even know what that means, dude. I don't know what that means. Is everything all right with the audio now? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious. Brutal. Okay. I can't believe it's already the end of March, just about. I got to pick the entire card. I don't even know who I'm picking for the full card for Saturday. And it's an early fight card, too. It's like, I think it's 7 p.m. main card, which isn't bad. I much prefer that. I have no idea who I'm going with, though. Mario, thank you for the 10 months of membership. I appreciate you, my friend. I really do. What's up? What's up? Yo, Joey, what is your walkout song going to be in your wedding? It's going to be Chris Jericho's WWF song. Am I late? No, you're just on time. You just made it. We just started. You didn't even miss a single word. So no, you're not late. At all. We haven't even talked about anything yet. We haven't talked about Colby's death threats. I bet you there's people making videos on that. Let me search that real quick. I bet you if I search Colby death threats. Let's see. This past week. I knew it. Colby Covington takes it too far with death threats. John Anik responds. What a clown you have to be to jump on that. To jump on that. Colby Covington crosses the line. Cry me a river. These same people who love Colby's character are acting like he caused a big deal. I'm about to start threatening everyone's family. Or never mind. I'm about to start threatening everyone's life just for the hell of it. If John Anik doesn't stop saying those corny lines, I'd hate to see his children lose their father to do a Boston Crab. I'll tell you that much right now. Now, you know what my walkout song for my wedding would be? I'm coming out to Shawn Michaels' song. I'm going to come out to Shawn Michaels' song. But I hope I don't get carried away and accidentally give her the Sweet Chin Music. You've been warned. Sandman should go up to 45. What makes you say that? What gives you the sense that he could make it at 45? Because I don't think he would have a lot of success at 45. At all. You missed Joey's detailed breakdown? Yes, you did. You missed that. The Undertaker was the most entertaining WWE wrestler? Maybe. I don't know. I only watched for a couple years when I was a young kid. So, I don't know who was the best. I watched like The Rock and Stone Cold air. And that was a great air. It's crazy they've been retired. Stone Cold retired in 2022. No, wait. That can't be it. 2003, he retired apparently. I know he's had little things coming back here and there. But that's crazy. He's 60 years old. What a legend, though. Think about all the shows he did. And think about how entertaining he was. I remember watching him back in the day. He was crazy. That was a good era. I would give anything to go back to the early 2000s, WWF, WWE. It was a good time. I can't believe he's 60 years old, though. 60 years old. Wrestled for 14 years. I wonder what he does now. Like, I think he has a podcast or something, but I wonder what he does. Honestly. Kurt Angle in the UFC? You've been warned. That is true. I'm old enough to remember John Cena debuting. I don't know if I did see that. When did he debut? I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. 2010. What's crazy is I saw a video of Kurt Angle now. I think I saw it on YouTube. Kurt Angle podcast, maybe. The Kurt Angle show. Dude looks so old. Yeah, he looks so old. And why doesn't he turn his phone sideways? And he gets no views. That's really upsetting. That is really, really, really upsetting. They're like 2 and 3 minute videos. This is bad. Why isn't someone telling him to turn his phone sideways? Disturbing. Is it true you and Andrei Arlovsky are brothers? Yeah. Yep. You look and sound like Arn Anderson. Appreciate it. I'll take it as a compliment. I think Sandy could pack on some weight and actually benefit from an easier weight cut. Most folks move up, do pretty well. I don't think it makes sense for him to go to 45. I don't think he has a massive weight cut. So... who should be next for Leon? Yeah, let's get into that. Who should be next for Leon? Let's pull up the UFC rankings real quick. Because Colby's like the last on the list. You look at the rankings right now. Rank number 1 is Kamaru Usman. Obviously, that's not going to happen. They're not going to have a quadrilogy. That's just unlikely to happen. So we can cross him off the list. Number 2 is Colby Chaos Covington. The clown show, as I like to call him. He's 35 years old. He's won 2 out of his last 4. He's 50-50 in his last 4 fights. Embarrassing. They elevate him off of 2 losses to Kamaru Usman. His wins are against Tyron Woodley and Jorge Masvidal. That win over Tyron Woodley is aged like milk. And he's got a one fight win streak against Jorge Masvidal at UFC 272. It wasn't even a finish. Jorge Masvidal isn't even ranked in the top 10 anymore. Jorge Masvidal's ranked number 11 in the UFC rankings. Craziness. Absolute craziness. Okay, so Colby, there's no chance. He deserves a title shot less than Wonderboy Thompson. Okay, let me put it that way. Then you get to Hamzat Chimaev at number 3. Hamzat Chimaev, I think you could give him a title shot solely off a win over Gilbert Burns. But the one issue I have with that is Hamzat is moving up to 85 supposedly. And he's not fighting at 170 until at least the end of the year, and he's fighting at middleweight next. So Hamzat's out of the picture. So then you have Belal Muhammad, who nobody likes. He's 34 years old. Why is everyone at welterweight old as shit? But he's on an 8-fight win streak. His last 3 wins are Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. All Wonderboy Thompson ranked number 7, Sean Brady ranked number 9, Vicente Luque ranked number 10. All top 10 wins. Meanwhile, Colby has 1 win of 1 guy who's currently in the top 15 in his entire career. The only win of somebody who's currently in the top 15 is against Jorge Masvidal. That's the only win in his entire career of a guy who's still ranked in the top 15 in the UFC. Colby Covington has one of the worst resumes ever. There's no way, shape, or form he deserves a title shot. Then you get down the list, Gilbert Burns. What is Gilbert Burns on right now? He's coming off the loss to Hamzat Chimaev. He's coming off the win over Neil Magny at UFC 283. He's only won 2 out of his last 4. But his losses are to Kamaru Usman in a title fight and Hamzat Chimaev in a fight that was super competitive. Now, we're not giving out participation trophies here. Gilbert Burns deserves a title shot about as much as Colby Covington. If he beats Jorge Masvidal, maybe he jumps in front of Colby a little bit, but only because he's on a 2-fight win streak instead of a 1-fight win streak. But they're essentially even if he beats Jorge Masvidal. Now, after that, you get to Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think Shavkat Rakhmonov, I'm not going to make the case, but you could make the case he's most deserving right now. He's 17-0. He's undefeated. He's coming off a win over Jeff Neal, who Jeff Neal is sitting at number 8 in the rankings. Jeff Neal's a very good fighter. Shavkat put on a performance of the night performance. And Shavkat looks like an absolute savage. So if it's up to me, let's just pretend everyone who's currently ranked is in the rankings. If it's up to me, you give the title fight to Hamzat first. Hamzat's not there. You give the title fight to Belal. But you can make an argument for Shavkat Rakhmonov. If you're not giving it to Belal, you have to give it to Shavkat. If you're not giving it to Shavkat, then you would give it to Colby. And if Colby wasn't getting it, you'd give it to the winner of Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. Or you could give it to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, honestly. But I wouldn't give it to Wonderboy. Wonderboy, what was his last fight against Kevin Holland? Yeah, he doesn't deserve a title shot with that. So Wonderboy and Colby are pretty close to as even in terms of earning a title shot, which is even insanity at this point. But Covington should only get a shot if Belal and Shavkat can't take a title fight. So if that was the case, if Belal couldn't fight and if Shavkat couldn't fight, I think Colby Covington should get the shot. But the fact is Belal's clamoring for a title shot. So I think most deserving is Belal. 100% Belal is most deserving. And he's getting skipped over for a clown in Colby Covington who has one ranked top 15 win who's ranked currently in the top 15. That's an embarrassment. The resume is horrible. Say what you will. I mean, you can cherry pick any resume. I get that. But the resume is horrible. Colby Covington, he's doing something behind the scenes and clamoring for a title shot. Islam deserves a title shot more. I would agree. I have no desire to see Colby fighting for a title. Don't get me wrong. Colby's still one of the best 170 pounders, but to have him leapfrog Bilal Muhammad, to have him leapfrog, Shavkat, to have him leapfrog everyone, I'd rather Kamaru get a fourth shot than Colby. And that has nothing to do with disliking Colby. It has to do with who actually deserves it. Kamaru Usman deserves a title shot against Leon again more than Colby deserves a shot right now. So, and also, why are we giving Colby a shot? He lost. I know MMA math doesn't work. And I may even pick Colby to beat Leon. It's not based on competitiveness. It's based on merit. And Colby Covington absolutely does not deserve a title shot right now. So, there you go. Habib was on EPO. We have no evidence of that. I'm going to be at the card this weekend. I'm going to the card this weekend. Card is meh, but main event is really good. Couldn't have said it any better myself. Bilal deserves, and you never know, the fight could be entertaining, and there's a story there. I agree. I want the UFC to be a meritocracy. At least, why are we just throwing out title shots willy-nilly? I hope Leon Edwards sticks to his guns and says, I don't want to fight Colby. And the UFC says, okay, we'll give it to Bilal instead. But what I don't want to see is I don't want to see Leon stall the Colby fight and then somehow Masvidal end up with a title shot. I absolutely do not want that. Because Jorge Masvidal does not deserve a title shot at all. Even if he beats Gilbert Burns, does that put him back in the discussion? Okay, yeah. But there's no way he deserves a title shot with a win over Burns. Jorge Masvidal will, if he beats Burns, which is no guarantee, he'll have won 1 out of his last 4, and we're going to give him a title shot? No, that's even more embarrassing. If it comes down to Colby or Jorge, it needs to go to Colby. It needs to go to Colby. But it should go Bilal. And people don't like Bilal, so people are like, okay, we got to give it to Colby because he uses his mouth more. I like Colby's mouth. That's the people. That's the people claiming Colby should get a title shot. So it's unfortunate situation. The welterweight division has always been in shambles, it seems. It has always been in shambles. And I hate the welterweight division at this point. Based on merit, it's Bilal all day. Nobody else even comes close. Agreed. Neil has never been finished before in the UFC. Good point. Colby could have fought Bilal on the London card last week and earned a shot, but instead he turned it down. Yeah. Colby is constantly ducking people. Colby is the biggest fight ducker in the UFC. He turned down Hamzat multiple times. And the thing is, he openly turned down fights for years. You know why Leon Edwards doesn't want to fight him? People think Leon Edwards doesn't want to fight him because, he'd rather fight Jorge and this and the backstory and this and that. The real reason that Leon Edwards is turning down Colby is because years ago, the UFC found out Hamzat wasn't going to be able to make his fight months in advance. And they tried to replace him with Colby. And it wasn't even going to be short notice because it was 2.5 months out. And Colby said, I'm not fighting him. Colby ducked Leon Edwards back in March of 2021. But it was really early February 2021. Because the fight was going to be in late March. And there was plenty of time between now and then. And Colby didn't want the fight. He said, I'm not fighting him. Nobody knows who he is. Blah, 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 blah. Now all of a sudden he wants a title shot. And I just find it embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the Colby Covington D-Riders, but it's also embarrassing for Colby as well the fact that he stayed radio silent over the past year. Hamzat's just constantly calling him out and saying he wants to fight him. The UFC saying they want that fight. All of a sudden, Dana says, Hamzat's moving to 85. Colby can't shut his mouth about him because he knows he ain't getting that fight. And that's a calculated decision. That is a calculated decision by Colby. 100%. It's sports entertainment. Money talks. Dude, stop acting like you get a cut of the money. Colby doesn't even draw that much pay-per-view buys. He's headlined one pay-per-view without a title on the line. Let's be real here. So, we got to stop acting like he's drawing millions of pay-per-view buys. Burns would win against... What's the likelihood of Leon getting stripped for not taking the fight? I don't think it's very likely. I think the UFC would literally argue with him and either get him to take it or just say, okay, whatever, and then make him fight like the worst possible matchup they could give him. Which Colby is probably that matchup though. But they'll try to give him the least opportune circumstances after that. So that's probably what will happen. So the likelihood that Leon gets stripped is very, very unlikely in my opinion. But possible. Keyword here is deserved. No one, not who's actually going to get it, which I see Colby getting. And yeah, 170 has always been in shambles. I agree. Yeah. I think there's a chance Colby doesn't get it still. I think there's still a chance. Leon rubs me the wrong way. Leon is scared. No, he doesn't. But Leon is embarrassing himself by saying Colby doesn't deserve it and then talking about essentially Jorge potentially getting it. So, yeah, it's embarrassing. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Leon will lose the belt to Colby. I may even pick Colby if it happens. They'll make Leon fight Shavkat in Kazakhstan if he declines Colby. I hope they do. The video Colby screaming like a little girl on why he shouldn't fight Leon seriously made me question how someone like him could even be in the UFC. Aren't legit tough guys supposed to be fighters? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Colby's embarrassed himself countless times. GSP Silva Jones wouldn't have the same record and resume in this era. Okay. I don't think Leon's scared of Colby at all. I mean, he just fought Usman twice. Colby talks all that smack, but he really's not about it. Yeah. If Colby gets confronted by somebody outside of the cage, Colby's like scared and not a big fan of it. In the cage, obviously he's not scared of anyone, but he's worried what people may do to him outside. I remember when he was talking about the Russians. I sent it in the Discord the other day. He was talking shit about like Khabib and the Russians, and they actually did catch him. And they recorded him, and he just looked like he was being held hostage. It's hilarious. But yeah, they should give it to Shavkat if Leon declines. If it's Colby, he's losing it straight up. Maybe, maybe not. Colby's inactivity is near disqualifying, but a lot of people are understanding 2 close fights with Usman as the reason he deserves the shot. Yeah, it makes no sense. We got to stop, every time some guy has a close fight against a good fighter, we elevate him. We got to elevate him because he had a close fight with a good fighter. That's just despicable if you ask me. Absolutely despicable. Aldo's legacy is overrated? Absolutely not. But yeah, the fact that Colby sat out in witness protection for a year, only to pop back in when the second Hamzat decides that he's going up, I think it's just embarrassing. I think it's a really bad look for Colby. A really bad look for Colby. Like, I don't want to hear that guy's name again. Yeah, I don't want to hear that guy's name again. Yeah, that's awfully funny. You don't want to hear his name again now that all of a sudden you return Dude doesn't want the fight. Dude's been ducking Hamzat for a long time. He doesn't want that fight at all. And now he's thinking I'm gonna get the best of both worlds because I don't want the fight, but I'm also can talk shit about him now because he's going, you know what I mean? It's almost like the hold me back, you know? The hold me back people who almost get into a fight and like hold me back because they don't want to actually fight no one. Colby doesn't want to fight Hamzat. Colby's been a notorious ducker for years. I will admit Colby plays the heel role and makes it super easy to hate him. I don't even hate Colby. I'm indifferent to Colby. I just find him like a cornball. What's up, Joey? What's up, Anthony? He started talking about Khabib and Islam again recently. Hopefully he faces real consequences. Well, that's the thing. I mean, he faced real consequences against Jorge, and he called the police. Dude just called the police. And people keep shitting on Jorge, right? Let me straighten something up for you guys because I know a lot of you guys are probably regurgitating this. Jorge said, look, if I see you on the streets, I'm going to punch you in your mouth because you're talking about my family, you're talking about my kids. And there's this general consensus, I've heard it a million times from MMA fans. Colby didn't talk about his kids. Colby talked about him as a parent and blah, 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 and this and that. This is what MMA fans have been regurgitating for a year and after year. And while on the surface this is technically true, people have to realize, Jorge Masvidal isn't, and I don't even like Jorge Masvidal, Congressman Masvidal. Jorge's not saying, oh yeah, you know, Colby Covington talk shit about my kids, as in like, oh yeah, Jorge Masvidal's daughter's a bitch, or Jorge Masvidal's son's a bitch. That's not what Colby said. That's not what Jorge's saying either. What Jorge's saying, look, you brought up my relationship, my job as a parent to my kids. That is too far. That is too far for my personal liking. And for some reason, people keep saying, he never said anything about his kids. And that's not what Jorge's saying, okay? That's not. People, for some reason, keep liking to twist everything instead of just taking it for what it is. At no point, Jorge said, oh, he called my child a bitch or anything like that. You know, he's just saying, look, he brought up the relationship I have with my kids. That's too far. That's not something I appreciate. And I'm sensitive about that. So I'm going to get my retribution. And look, I don't think you should go out there and sucker punch people unless you're going to put them in the Boston Crab after the fact. But look, after what Colby did and the way he acted, I'm not going to cry any crocodile tears. You guys have to realize, and this happened with Conor Khabib as well, when you talk a certain way and you put out a certain energy, it doesn't matter if it's an act. The real world, there's consequences. There's consequences. If you want to go online and act like a fool and say all this crazy shit and this and that and talk about this guy and that guy, there can be real world consequences, okay? And I will not clutch my pearls, not once. Not once. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to whine about some dude talking outlandish shit. And then guess what? Somebody said, you know what? I don't like what this guy has to say. I'm going to get my retribution. Now, I don't think anybody should go out there and put their hands on another human being, okay? Unless absolutely necessary. But I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to cry about it. Just like, I mean, I wish I would have had a YouTube channel when Khabib jumped out of the cage. I've talked about this on countless occasions. Conor and his team talked all this bullshit. All this bullshit in the lead up to the fight about Khabib's wife, about Khabib's religion, about Khabib's style, about Khabib's coaches. Talked all this shit, and the media is just deep-throating Conor. Just deep-throating him. And Conor saying his wife's a towel and all this and that and talking all this shit. Khabib jumped out of a cage. A grown man leaped from a cage, okay, and hurt absolutely nobody. There was nobody hurt, nobody injured, nothing. The MMA media then, oh my God, can you believe Khabib jumped out? A grown man leaped from a cage and hurt absolutely nobody? They clutched their pearls and they cried about it. But guess what? When you talk a lot of shit, sometimes there's real world consequences. And that's exactly what happened to Conor's corner. And unfortunately, in that case, there was no actual consequences. Khabib just jumped out of the cage. But the media will sit here and encourage and encourage and encourage and encourage. Talk that shit. Yeah, throw that dolly at the bus. Can't wait to talk about this on the MMA Hour. Can't wait to promote this on MMA Fighting with all these salacious headlines. And then all we're going to do is put pictures of tweets. And then the second somebody says, you know what? I don't like this shit. I don't like the way this guy's talking about me out there. He's trying to embarrass me. He's talking about my family. He's talking about my wife. If I let him get away with this without doing something, I look like a bitch. Then the second somebody does something about it outside of the cage, all of a sudden the MMA media is clutching their pearls. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. Look, I will say it again. It's not about, oh, should anybody be attacked out in public? They shouldn't be attacked for their words. But at the end of the day, again, I'm not going to cry any crocodile tears. If I sit on here and I just bash somebody and talk mad shit about somebody that I work with online or something, you know what I mean? And the next thing you know, next time they see me, they punch me in the mouth. Did they have the right to assault me? No, they didn't. You don't have the right to put your hands on somebody else because of words. I don't agree with that. But at the same time, was I potentially asking for it? Yeah, I was. So I don't care. It's one of those things, actions have consequences. And the MMA media will consistently say, well, he did it to promote the fight. He was just promoting the fight. As Conor would say, it's just business. It's just business. To some people, it's not just business, okay? Some people can take words better than others. Like, I don't care what anyone has to say about me. I don't care about anyone's opinion. What they may or may not have to say about me to insult me. I don't care. It's not going to get me up in arms. I don't care what they have to say, anyone. But I'm nobody, you know what I mean? But I'm saying if I'm out there in the public eye, I'm a fighter. I'm supposed to be this tough guy. And some dude's talking about my family, talking about my relationship with my kids, and making me look like a fool in front of the fans and starting up these like troll fans talking about this and that. I think, let me put it this way. I think Masvidal would have done more damage to his personal brand and his fan base if he saw Colby Covington and didn't punch him in the mouth. If I'm Jorge Masvidal for the rest of my life, anytime I see Colby Covington, I am trying to punch him in the mouth. I don't care where he is. I don't care if he's at a doctor's appointment when he's 53. If I'm Jorge Masvidal and I come by him, I'm punching him in his mouth. Because at the end of the day, the dude talked all this shit, and at the end of the day, if I don't like it and I'm not okay with it, and I couldn't get it done in 25 minutes, I want some type of retribution. That's what I would be thinking if I was Jorge. And I'm not going to clutch my pearls. I'm not clutching my pearls over it. I don't care. I don't care. Some guy who's a professional fighter talked shit about someone else's family and got punched in the mouth. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. And people keep acting like Jorge Masvidal is going to go to jail for 30 years. Dude, there's always going to be an out-of-the-cage settlement. Masvidal is going to pay some type of settlement to Colby, and that's going to be the end of it, okay? That's going to be the end of it. At the end of the day, I kept getting so many people. I mentioned it in my video, about Colby Covington and the UFC and the backup and potentially the charges with Masvidal. People kept saying, yeah, well, the only reason he's getting the title shot is because the UFC wants him to drop the charges on Masvidal. Do you guys really think Masvidal is going to jail for a long period of time for one punch? Do you truly believe that? You don't live in the real world then. You don't live in the real world. One punch, you think he's going to jail? He didn't beat him mercilessly. He didn't knock him unconscious and then stomp on his head for 20 minutes. He didn't change his life. He punched him in the mouth one time and dipped off. You really think the justice system is going to put Jorge Masvidal away for years? No. All Colby Covington is doing by calling the police and pressing charges is he's extorting Jorge Masvidal for a settlement check. And I don't blame him either. We laugh and say Colby's calling the cops and this and that, and he's a bitch and all this. I don't blame him. If he gets $250,000, he gets $100,000. Why not? Why not? Just take it from him right there. Boom. Dude punched me in the mouth. I can't get him back, maybe. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. But I'll hit him in his wallet. I already beat him for 25 minutes. But at the end of the day, Jorge Masvidal wins regardless. You know, I don't necessarily agree with it. Jorge got beat up for 25 minutes and didn't do all that much then. But guess what? If they never fight again, Jorge will say, "I won. I beat him. I busted him in his mouth outside the, the restaurant." For the rest of his life, he can say that, and people will go with it. It's just like the Nate Diaz Rock and Leon Edwards in the 5th round. So that's the way. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes. In the court of public opinion, Jorge Masvidal's already won, I think. And some people aren't going to agree with me on that. But if I'm Jorge, I'd feel happy about my retribution. You know, if I lost that 25 minutes, I'd be pissed. I'd have some pent up anger if I was him. You know, if I was a professional fighter and I went out there and got controlled and couldn't get him off you and he's just suffocating you at wrestling, I'd want to sneak him too. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I don't think it's right, but I don't care. Anyway, I have no idea what question I was even answering because we went on and on and on. We got a good one here. Put me in a room with Joe and I bet you I'm the only one that's going to walk out. I doubt that very seriously. I break both of your kneecaps in a Boston Crab. Easy. Easy. So, keep talking that shit. People hate Colby because he's good as hell. People hate Colby because he says things, but you get him some cheap heat. Okay? How do you know he called the police? Did you see Colby? I seen the police report. So, he spoke with the police. He waited for the police, and he reported it to the police. That's no different whether he semantically called the police or not. I love how you brought this up because all those guys crying about Jorge snaking Colby are also backing Bilal to do the same thing. Yeah, it's very weird. I think people don't like that Jorge sucker punched Colby from behind and instead of sort of squared up with him. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he took care of it. He did what he needed to do, and now he's going to say he can live with that narrative. I 100% agree with this take. Happy to hear it. If your biggest problem in life is being made fun of, you have it on easy mode. Very true. They do the same thing with Volk. All the fans were hating on Volk and undermining his win on Max because Max was a fan favorite. That is true. 100%. Joey knows the streets. Fair enough. What's up, Merk Lee? What's going on, my friend? Joey thinks he knows that I do. The moment was the most satisfying me once Habib actually made him his son. Now all of a sudden it's just business. Lamau, I'm with you on this, Joey. Exactly. Dude bitched him. Dominated him for 20 minutes. And then ripped his head off and made him tap to a neck crank. Could you imagine if Conor made Habib tap to a neck crank? Joey spitting? Colby's not a superstar, bro. You're smoking crack. I understand the game, but Colby is doing, it's called cheap heat, okay? Burgos, okay, yeah, there you go. I used to think Shane Burgos, I used to think like Shane Burgos, but having a little experience gives you a better understanding. Anybody can get cheap heat. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just corny. I don't care what Colby's saying. Again, I'm not clutching my pearls over what Colby's saying. I'm not crying about what Colby's saying. But for me, I just find it corny. I just find it 100% corny. What is this? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even listen to Colby interviews. Because basically he's the Skip Bayless of MMA. Dude's just saying off the wall shit to get attention. What's up, Brendan? You do understand cheap heat? Yeah, I get it, dude. He's just saying things for attention. I know. Do you think people are underrating Hamzat's chances against Whitaker? Yes. But I do think it is a very tough fight. It is a very, very, very tough fight. Oh, what is this? I think it is a very tough fight for Hamzat, but Hamzat could win. I have a feeling that's not even going to be the fight they make. Manel Kape versus Alex Perez prediction. I'm not decided on that one yet. I may go Alex Perez, but I feel like every time I pick Alex Perez, he lets me down. But Manel Kape, I didn't think he looked particularly impressive in his last fight. He needs to be himself. Dude is a joke. That he is. He is a joke. And I truly don't think anyone even likes Colby. I mean, if you do, you're an absolute cornball. I mean, I like Colby's fight style. I mean, it's crazy to me that everyone calls the Dagestanis boring, but they like Colby's fight style. You know, people say, oh, Bilal's so boring and this and that. Bilal's basically the same type of fighter as Colby. But I get your point if you're saying personality. But, yeah, Colby's just a cornball. Also, I don't understand why the UFC isn't doing Belal versus Colby. Makes way more sense from a promotional standpoint. Creates a rightful number one contender. Creates more hype for a Leon title defense. I guess timing. It's all about timing. You know, when are they going to be ready? If you've seen one Colby interview, you've seen them all. I've never watched an entire Colby Covington interview. Tony versus Kevin Lee too. Who do you got? I'm taking Tony, but I don't know. Both are bums. The bottled water is a gimmick? Yep, sure. Sure it is. Am I wrong for saying Hamzat would have absolutely destroyed Colby in 3 minutes with 0 significant strikes absorbed? I think that's a little bit extreme. But I kind of agree with you in a way. I think Hamzat would have wrecked Colby, but I don't know if it would have been in 3 minutes, and I don't know if he wouldn't have absorbed a strike. But there's no way Colby's taking down Hamzat at all. Yanez or Font? I haven't decided yet. I've been flipping back and forth between Font and Yanez. Hamzat would have jabbed Colby like crazy. You should sell a water bottle? Yeah. Joey, may I send my associates to test you for HGH? Nah. I don't need to be tested. When do you think Dana will retire? I feel like Dana will be gone in like a year or two. Honestly. I think he's already checked out. Worried about power slap all day, every day. Okay, real quick, because I have it in the title. Let's quickly recap UFC 286. Not a lot to talk about because we're only going to really talk about the top 2 fights. If you watch my top 3 takeaways, you already know kind of how I feel about the event overall. If you watch my video, was Kamaru Usman robbed? You kind of know how I feel about it. Let's start off with the main event. I mean, we're only going to talk about like 3 or 4 fights maybe. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. This was a very close fight. This was even closer when I watched it back. I can't believe people are acting like Leon Edwards dominated. Leon Edwards pulled an Israel Adesanya. He leg kicked at range. Usman landed some good shots, and I think what this fight comes down to is people don't realize Usman rocked him in the second round. Usman rocked Leon in the second round, and he should have took the second round, and he should have took the third by a 10-8 because of the point deduction. It should have been a draw, in my opinion. I do not think it was a robbery by any means. I don't have a problem with Leon winning, but it was a much closer fight, and I think a lot of people were just so happy to see Kamaru lose that they didn't realize how close it was because they were already biased towards Leon Edwards. I'm not saying everyone was like that. I think it's a legitimate opinion to think Leon won. But I'm just saying I think a lot of people were like that, the way everyone was like, oh, not everyone, but a good portion of the fan base was like, yeah, Leon dominated. If Kamaru did what Leon did and won the fight in the capacity Leon won the fight, people would have been making a case for Leon. And it would have been a rightful case. But I'm just saying that's how delusional they are. Close fight. I do think Kamaru was injured. I believe that just because of the Colby Covington situation. I don't know to what effect it had on him. But also, we know that the whole elevation thing was bullshit. Because we saw what Leon looked like. Leon essentially had the same gas tank. And he just enacted a better strategy in this fight. Dude was staring up at the clock 3 or 4 times in the 5th round and was constantly getting pressured. Had a little bit better footwork. But in this fight, he didn't get the finish in the 5th round. And the gas tank didn't look that good. The output was okay. It wasn't great. and didn't really throw a lot with the hands at all. But yeah, those are the main things. That whole elevation shit was completely incorrect, and I'm glad that it was proven incorrect at UFC 286. Co-main event, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I see some people saying Fiziev got robbed. I think that's craziness. I thought it and I haven't watched it back yet. I will watch it soon. I thought the whole narrative that, oh, Fiziev got robbed is outright outlandish. Outright outlandish. I thought it was pretty clear for Justin Gaethje, but I do think, you know, the second and third round could be up for debate. Or not the second and third. The second round could be up for debate. I think the first was clearly Fiziev. The third was clearly Gaethje. I've seen some people suggesting the third was Fiziev. I can't buy that at all. I can't buy that at all. So I think it proved that Fiziev belongs with the top guys. I also think it proved that Justin Gaethje is still a very good fighter, and people were massively underestimating him. And it was a great fight to watch. I wish it was 5 rounds, because then we wouldn't be having this conversation, because Justin Gaethje probably would have finished him in the 4th round. Justin Gaethje with a jab is a new mythical fighter. Justin Gaethje with a jab is a new mythical fighter. Gunnar Nelson versus Brian Barberena. Barberena was just beating up older bums. Gunnar Nelson's a Conor McGregor groupie. Gets it done in the 1st round via submission. Never going to be a top 15 ranked guy again. If he is, I'd be shocked. And I really don't have much to say about the fight. Gunnar Nelson gets it done on the ground. Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. Garbage. Don't care about either girl. They're both horrible fighters, and I never want to see either one of them fight again. Honestly, watching them fight made me want to end my YouTube channel. That's how bad it was. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. I had it scored for Marvin Vettori. I think 2-3 for Marvin Vettori, if I'm not mistaken. Roman Dolidze was hitting a lot of air and a lot of forearms. Didn't get it done at all. So for me, I didn't necessarily think that fight was particularly great. It was boring, and you know, both guys didn't look very good, and they didn't look very high level for where they're ranked in the top 10. Jack Shore versus Makwan Amirkhani. Shout out to Mike Grundy's dad. Jack Shore getting the retribution we needed. I'm very, very happy to see Jack Shore get that retribution. Makwan Amirkhani has horrible cardio. I talked about it in my top 3 takeaways video. Makwan Amirkhani has god-awful cardio. I never want to see him fight in the UFC again. Dude's 17-9. Get rid of him, cut him, let him go hang out with Mike Grundy on the weekends now. Do the same thing to Amirkhani you did to Mike Grundy. Get him out of the UFC, please. Chris Duncan, Omar Morales. Chris Duncan looked okay, not great. The judge gave it 30-27 to Omar Morales as smoking crystal meth. Nothing really particularly amazing about this fight. Yeah. And then Makayev toughing it out through that knee bar was insanity. And then to get the finish. Hopefully he doesn't have any serious injuries. You know, he wasn't stretchered out, so it's hard to say if he was stretchered out with no serious injuries or serious injuries, because he was not stretchered out. So I'm curious to see what comes back from an MRI. Supposedly he said he's fighting in July, but we'll find out soon enough. Oh, Archie, thank you for the $2 super chat. O'Malley gets the winner of Sandhagen versus Vera. Thoughts? I would love that, especially if it's Vera. I think it'll be Sandhagen. But to be honest, if by some chance Henry Cejudo wins the bantamweight title, I want O'Malley versus Merab for #1 contender. But yeah, I think they should have booked. When they booked this, instead of booking Sandhagen versus Vera, it should be O'Malley Vera too. It really should be O'Malley Vera too. Right now, it should be this Saturday. Because O'Malley hasn't earned a title shot with that brutal robbery win over Petr Yan. To be quite frank, he hasn't earned it, so he should have had to beat Marlon Vera. Gunnar looks like he smells with his mustache. Okay, what's your hype, boss? 6'3". Why you hating on Gunnar? I'm not hating on him. He's just a Conor McGregor groupie, though. Cory versus Sean would be fire. Agreed. Makwan Amirkhani is 1-1 against opponents with terminally ill fathers. Thank you for that statistic, Cannoli. Thank you for that statistics. How about Rose Namajunas versus Carlos Barza 3-peat? Please no. Please no. O'Malley agreeing to fight Merab is as likely as Jorge agreeing to fight Shavkat. It's very, very unlikely. I agree. But that doesn't change the fact that I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. But, yeah, I mean, if Cejudo wins, Merab's number 1, O'Malley's number 2. It makes perfect sense. Book it ASAP. What's next for Jorge if he wins? That is going to be very interesting. That is going to be very, very, very interesting. Could be a Wonder Boy rematch. But my guess is he'll get a big fight. He'll get a big fight. If he beats Gilbert, he'll jump up the rankings. If Colby loses to Leon and Jorge wins, they could rebook him for a rematch. Because Masvidal apparently wants it again. I don't know if he's being honest or not. But he's saying he wants it again, so it could be that. It could be, I mean, it could be a lot of these guys. It could be Wonder Boy. It could be the Bilal Shavkat winner if that fight happens. But yeah, I think Jorge's going to like beg for like a Nick Diaz fight, or maybe if Conor and Jorge wins, if Conor beats Michael Chandler at the end of this year, you could see that fight finally. You could. What about Hamzat? What about him? Colby's ducking him left, right, and center. It looks like Leon has a bald spot in the back of his head. He does. I thought Vazeev was going to win. He was winning those first couple minutes of the third, then landed some nice shots, then Gaethje took it. Exactly. Exactly. How's your cardio? I can run for 5 hours straight without even slowing down. Full sprint. Especially with my Venom gear shirt on. Whew. I'm basically Forrest Gump at that point, all right? You think O'Malley has 5-round cardio? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I would assume, but maybe he's taking EPO. You know, his gym seems to be intertwined with cheating, so. Merab the direct title shot if Aljo loses? That's probably what might happen. I fear 289 is going to end up being headlined by Amanda Nunes, Co-Main, Weili Zhang. I think 289 is going to be Jamal Hill versus Magomed Ankalaev. That's my guess. Or Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska. That's what I'm thinking. Leon had a way better gas tank at UFC 286. He stuffed takedowns and got up. Weird take, Joey. Now, I disagree. I disagree. He had better takedown defense. I mean, his takedown defense looked about the same as it did in 278. Like, I don't want to go off stats, but just out of curiosity. Versus Edwards. I mean, how many takedowns did Usman get in the first fight? Let's see. Or how many takedowns was he credited with in the first fight? I don't even know where to look this up, to be honest. Yeah, I have no idea. Where do you look up the stats at? Is this it? Okay, here it is. Takedown, takedown, takedown. Usman had 5 of 12. Okay. Okay, how do I click on a fight themselves? Yeah, so Usman got 1 less takedown in the new one. So I don't know what you want to say about that, but he had 1 less takedown. Okay, sure. And you know, I just think I can think that is not attributed to gas tank. Like, you really think so? But was Leon gassed in the second round when he was getting controlled at 278? Was he gassed in the second round? It makes no sense. Leon just had a better game plan this time. Didn't get put up against the fence. That narrative of the whole cardio thing is just the dumbest narrative ever. You know, and if anyone think that Leon's cardio looks significantly better at 286, I think they're delusional. They just bought into what the UFC and Leon sold them and can't make decisions for themselves. If they strip Leon, they should do Leon versus Jorge. Agreed. But I don't think they're going to strip Leon. Hey, look who showed up. Who's got Cheeto this weekend? Me. Oh, you do now. You have him. I do not. Does your doctor wear Venom scrubs? I mean, he wouldn't be my doctor if he didn't. What do you think about Yair Rodriguez getting the job done against Volkanovski? I may even pick Yair. Yair is so vicious on the feet, and he's getting better every fight out. He may beat Alexander Volkanovski. He may dethrone Alexander Volkanovski. I'm being dead serious. There's a chance. There's a very decent chance that Yair goes out there and dethrones Volkanovski. And I feel like a lot of people are thinking there's no way it happens after the performance he put on Islam. He got outstruck by Islam in like 4 out of 5 rounds. Outstruck by Islam in 4 and 5 rounds. What do you think Yair's going to be able to do? And Yair's slick off his back too. People forget, you know, they think, oh, the Brian Ortega shit was like fluky. The reason Brian Ortega's shoulder dislocated is because Yair was torquing at a weird angle looking to set up an armbar. So, yeah. If you saw a doctor walking around in Project Rock shoes, do you walk out and not get treated? For sure. The Project Rock shoes is where I draw the line. Same, bro. I'm an Aussie, and I think Yair gets it done. Fair enough. Will be attending Max Holloway versus Allen. Have a good time. Have a good time. You got Yair also? I'm telling you, I may pick Yair. And I've picked Volkanovski in almost every fight since, I think, Aldo. I picked against him against Aldo, and that's the last time I picked against him. Yep. I picked him in every single Max Holloway fight. I picked him against Brian Ortega. I picked him against Chan Sung Jung. Dude, it's crazy how people act like Max Holloway was the uncrowned king, and dude got the brakes beat off him at 276. We'll never see Volkanovski versus Max again, ever. I meant the majority of us were counting out Grasso. Fair enough. Yair, 3rd round knockout. If Volk wins, he's going to have to grapple. But Yair's super slick on the ground. Super slick on the ground. Max versus Arnold's going to be fire, and it's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. What's the date of that? It's in April, right? It is on April 15th, so it's literally like 3 weeks away. What an ugly poster, though, I'll tell you that. Ew, Ian Cutelaba, Tanner Bozer. Who wants to watch that? Oh, can't wait for Jocelyn Edwards versus Lucy Pudavola. I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. Brandon Royval versus Mateus Nicolau. That's a savage fight on that card. That better not be buried on the prelims. They better update that. That needs to be on the main card. Absolutely needs to be on the main card. I mean, for real. I'm so hyped for Yair fight. Dude actually has a shot. Agreed. Joey, what's your shoe size and do you have a P.O. box? Just curious. No and no. But yeah, I'm hyped for Yair versus Volk. I think that could be a main event of a pay-per-view, in my opinion. I think it could be a main event of a pay-per-view. It's a great fight. It's hard to believe 287's 2 weeks away. A week away from Saturday. No, 2 weeks from Saturday. Okay, I'm done. 2 weeks from this Saturday. Thank God we got a week in between because I got to start working on prediction videos. There's a lot to break down there. There's a lot to break down there. And I'm looking forward to it. Gerald Mershire, Joe Pfeiffer, Kelvin Gaslam, Chris Curtis, Kevin Holland, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Raul Rosas Jr., Christian Rodriguez, Rob Font, Adrian Yanez, Gilbert Burns, Jorge Masvidal, Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya, Michael Chiesa, Li Jing Liang. Whew, 287's it's just crazy good. And I don't know who I'm picking in half those fights. I'm actually dreading it. I need more time for my predictions. I need like 2 weeks of free time to decide on my predictions. I don't know if I missed your answer, but Strickland versus Costa is a matchup. What's your thoughts? I like the matchup. I think Costa wins. Strickland could win, but I think Costa just throws so much volume, and Strickland tends to just kind of just chill and not throw a whole lot and kind of been inactive. So I would have to go Costa. But I think the matchup makes a lot of sense. But I think they're going to do, if they do anything, they might do Costa versus, what's his name? Hamzat. I can't believe I forgot his name that quick. That quick. Who you got, Chiesa or Leach? I may pick Chiesa, but it's hard. Chiesa's been out for so long. How long's Chiesa been out at this point? He hasn't fought since Vicente Luque, right? Did you see the video of Pereira reacting? Is he reacting to 286? I did see that clip on Twitter. Yeah, it wasn't really anything special. I didn't really. Who wins, Merab or Darren Till? What kind of dumb question is that? Darren Till's literally a bum. At this point, I could out-wrestle Darren Till. Question for you, Joey. You think we see Holm get the belt? Glover and Randy? No. No. Holly Holm's about to enter a retirement home. She's so old. No, please no. I don't want to see her in a title fight at all either. I'm tired of seeing Holly Holm fight. She's regressed too. She's gotten worse and worse. The entire card gassed in Salt Lake? No. The entire card did not. That's just a narrative that people spin. The entire card did not gas. But Rockhold, coming off a 3-year layoff, he gassed. Oh, yeah. Aldo, okay, known for cardio issues in the past. And fighting, Merab, who has the greatest cardio. Oh, Merab didn't gas. Merab didn't gas. Next time you interview Chris Curtis, can you ask him about his fight against Bilal Muhammad? Sure. Did he actually? Are you making that up? I feel like you made that up. What is this? Yeah, you made this up. No, you're wrong. You're right. 2014. That's crazy. I never even heard of this. I never even saw this. Is there even video footage of that? Holly just signed a new contract. I know. I can't wait to see her main event fight night at the Apex. Might be the greatest card of 2023, you mean? 287? Yeah, I agree. Hamzat would make Costa look more trash than he already is. May very well. He may very well. Costa did not look good against Rockhold. I actually picked Rockhold to win that one. How crazy is that? But Rockhold's better than people give him credit for. And his chin's better than people give him credit for, too. 41-year-old Holly Holm is gearing up for a title run after signing 6-fight contract. If I have to watch Holly Holm get another title shot, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. It's nice. We get a week off before a big fight card. I'm happy with a week off before a big fight card. They said they're no longer doing fights at the Apex. No. That's not what they said. They're literally doing fights at the Apex in April. What's next for Lauren Murphy? I don't know. Hopefully retirement. Or OnlyFans, maybe. Rockhold used to be a beast. Exactly. People just discredit him because he sat out for a while and he got KO'd by Jan Blachowicz. Pro soon. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about then. They're discontinuing at the Apex, yet they're having an event at the Apex literally in 3 weeks. Okay. Women's division is kind of fading. Yeah, 135 and 145 suck. Absolutely suck. Did you see Alex Pereira riding a roller coaster? I did not. I don't pay attention to Alex Pereira's personal life. I watch the fights. I enjoy the fights. And that's about it. Okay? That's about it. All I got there. But some of you guys watch these guys' personal lives like crazy. Is Alex Pereira your favorite fighter? No. I'd probably say if I had to pick a favorite fighter, it sucks because Hamzat's not active. I really like Hamzat. I really like Charles Oliveira. I really like Yuri Prochazka. So those are like the guys that would consider my favorite fighter. But honestly, I don't really have a favorite fighter. I know that sounds crazy. My favorite fighters for the longest time were Anderson Silva and Jose Aldo, like my true favorite fighters. In the near future, will you be discontinuing it? You're thinking short term. Well, that is the near future. And it's clearly they're not. I mean, let's see. Let's take a look. Oh, look at this. They're having a fight night event a month and a week, a little over 5 weeks later. So 5 weeks is the near future. Oh, wait. They might be doing this at the Apex, too, which will be in May 13th. They probably will. We'll probably be at the Apex. They got a lot of cards that are just unannounced yet. It's crazy. Before you know it, we're going to be at UFC 290 in July. The Apex is never going away. It's too convenient for him. I hope it does. I hope it does, but I don't think it will be. Is Alex Pereira... Okay, you read that. The Apex is never going away. Yeah, it's too convenient. Agreed. Hey, question. Which was your first UFC card that got you hooked since? Mine was Machida Rashad. Welcome to the Machida era. Good times. Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen won. When Anderson pulled off that last minute triangle choke, I was hooked. I was hooked. It was craziness. Crazy to see how far the UFC has come. That is true. Leon Edwards' first fight in the United States was in Orlando. Okay, thanks for that fun fact. Can't wait to see what they do for UFC 300 next year. Yeah, I hope they just don't have a bunch of like dead cards all around it, which will be super unfortunate. Which will be super unfortunate. Yikes, already halfway done. Another year feels like it just started. I know. I mean, it's already April. We're 4 months in. We're 4 months in. That's crazy. My first UFC card was Rashad versus Chuck Liddell. Was hooked then. That's crazy, dude. Chuck got brutally KO'd too. What's your weight? I'm a heavyweight. Okay, what's your favorite card of all time? Mine was UFC 100. I don't really have a favorite card of all time. But I don't know. I'm trying to think of a card that stands out to me. There's quite a few that were great cards. That were absolutely great cards. 281 was incredible, but that's super, recency bias. I'm trying to think of one. Honestly, the most hyped I've ever been for a card, it wasn't that great of a card, but was 148. Just found best of UFC 2010 has legendary James Toney Randy Couture on it. Yeah. Can you cut from 350 to 265 in under a month? Oh, yeah, I'm sure I can. How did you see Izzy put his socks on when he got out? No, I did not. I'm assuming that's a joke about people paying too close attention to these guys' personal lives. But no, I did not see it at all. Did not see it whatsoever. But some people pay attention to that. Besides Rose Namajunas versus Carlos Barza, what was the worst card? I remember UFC 149 not being very good. Yeah, so that one was horrible. I'm trying to think of another one, but I can't think of any more. I'm hoping UFC 288 live. Haven't gone to an event since Covington Lawler, which was at the same venue. You should go. 281 was crazy. Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. Imagine if Bilal wins the belt after 3 more fights, without a doubt one of the most impressive runs to a title. Sure. UFC 200 wasn't the worst card, but very disappointing considering the hype. Agreed 100%. Agreed 150%. All right, guys. I am going to jump off of here. I appreciate you guys joining me. I might do a video tonight. I'm not sure yet. It's still early, but I'm kind of tired. I haven't decided yet. But I appreciate you guys joining me for the weekly live chat. I appreciate every single one of you. Like the stream. Why has nobody liked the stream? For some reason. Maybe if I get a video done by 11, I might come back and jump on for another stream. But we'll see about that. I don't know yet. But thank you guys for joining me. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's a chance I come back later. There's a chance I don't. There's a chance I have a video come out later. There's a chance I don't. But we will see. Appreciate you guys for joining me. Do me a favor. Go check out my Marlon Vera, Cory Sandhagen prediction video. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.